Coco Gauff embraces 12-year-old Ella, an emotional moment after Wuhan Open. The match was over. The lights of the Wuhan Open center court glowed like 1,000 suns over a sea of applauding fans. Coco Gauff had just clinched another stunning victory, her fourth straight of the tournament, and yet her mind wasn't on the scoreboard. As the crowd roared, she looked into the stands and saw a small girl press against the barrier, eyes wet, hands trembling, holding something that shimmered under the lights. A handmade sign read, "Coco, you made me believe I could." Coco froze. For a moment, the world shrank to the space between them, the global star and the 12-year-old believer. Who was Ella? Her name was Ella Tan, a quiet, introverted schoolgirl from Nanjing. She'd fallen in love with tennis watching Coco in the 2023 U.S. Open, a victory that made Ella feel, for the first time, that greatness could have curls, laughter, and joy. Her mother saved for months to buy tickets to the Wuhan Open. They rode a 9-hour train just to see Coco play live. She said she didn't want to just see her. Ella's mother recalled later. She wanted to thank her. The match before the moment. Coco's semifinal against Daria Kasatkina had been a grueling 2.5-hour battle. Sweat stung her eyes, legs burned, breath came in broken gasps. But she fought like a symphony of fire and faith. When the final point ended, she dropped to her knees, letting out a scream that echoed through the dome. She waved to fans, smiled for photos, and then saw that sign, the walk toward destiny. She didn't plan it. No PR prompt. No camera cue. Coco just walked, straight off the baseline, past the umpire's chair, toward the edge of the stands where Ella stood. Security hesitated. Coco waved them back. The crowd quieted, sensing something unscripted, something sacred. The embrace. Coco reached the barrier. Ella's hands shook as she tried to hand to the sign. Before the girl could speak, Coco leaned over, opened her arms, and whispered, "Come here, sweetheart." Ella fell into her hug, tears flooding her cheeks. For nearly 30 seconds, they stayed that way, an eternity in the middle of a roaring arena. The cameras zoomed in, but even high definition couldn't capture the stillness of that heartbeat. What the hug meant to the spectators, it was a tender scene. To Coco, it was a reminder of the 12-year-old girl she once was, standing outside courts in Florida, dreaming of being seen. "I saw myself in her," Coco said later. The same wide eyes, the same hope. And to Ella, it was everything. Her hero, her light, had reached back across the impossible and made her feel real. Behind the smile, few knew that Coco had been quietly carrying exhaustion, both mental and emotional. The season had been relentless. Critics questioned her scheduling. Fans debated her performance. She smiled through it all, but the weight was there. "Sometimes the noise gets loud," she admitted. "Then something like this happens, and it all quiets again." That embrace wasn't just comfort for Ella. It was healing for Coco. 2. Ella's sign. After the hug, Coco took Ella's handmade sign, a collage of photos, glitter, and a quote. "The world told me I couldn't. You showed me I could." Coco smiled, pressed it to her heart, and said softly, "Keep believing, Ella. Always." Then she signed her visor and placed it gently on the girl's head. The crowd's reaction. When Coco finally walked back toward the court, the arena erupted. People weren't just clapping. They were crying, cheering for something deeper than sport. Even Kasatkina, her opponent, stood by the net applauding. One fan later posted, "In that moment, Coco didn't just win a match. She won humanity." The story spreads. Within hours, the video hit social media. Hashtag Coco and Ella trended globally. Clips of the hug played on CNN, BBC, and ESPN. Filipino, Chinese, and American fans all shared it as a symbol of kindness transcending fame. The Wuhan Open organizers called it the moment of the tournament. The girl behind the hug. Journalists found Ella's family 2 days later. Her mother, May, said, "Ella has struggled with confidence. She used to get bullied for being shy. Coco was her light." After the embrace, Ella told her mom, "Maybe I can play too. Maybe I could be like her." Coco's response. At her post-match press conference, Coco smiled when asked about the girl. I don't know her full story, she said, but I know how it feels to need someone to believe in you. If my journey can help her believe in herself, then that's my biggest win. She paused, eyes glistening. Sometimes the trophies matter less than the hugs. The ripple effect. In the days that followed, fan mail poured in. Hundreds of letters from children around the world. Stories of struggle, of hope reignited. Coco read them on her flight home. By the time she landed, she'd made a decision that would change lives. The Ella Initiative. Weeks later, she announced a new project. The Ella Initiative, a mentorship and scholarship program for young girls in Asia who dream of sports careers but lack resources. The first camp would launch in Wuhan, in partnership with local academies. Because inspiration shouldn't stop at a hug, Coco said. It should start there. Flashback, Coco's own moment. When she was 12, Coco herself had stood outside Arthur Ashe Stadium, waiting for Venus Williams to pass by. Venus smiled, waved, and told her, "Keep working, kid. You're special." That single sentence had carried her through years of struggle. Now, she'd passed that gift forward to Ella, the power of visibility. Sociologists and journalists call the moment a cultural echo. A Black American woman embracing an Asian girl. 2 generations, 2 worlds, meeting in one heartbeat. That hug showed what representation looks like, wrote The Atlantic. It's not about statistics. It's about connection. Ella's first lesson. 3 months later, Ella enrolled in a junior tennis program. She practiced every morning before school, always wearing the visor Coco gave her. Her coach said, "The hidden truth." Later, Coco admitted to friends that before Wuhan, she'd been close to taking a break from tennis. "I was running on empty," she said. "That hug filled me again." So in a way, Ella hadn't just been inspired. She'd saved her hero. The chain reaction. Inspired by Coco's act, several top athletes launched similar outreach efforts. Naomi Osaka visited schools in Tokyo. IGA Swiatek started a Letters to My Younger Self campaign. Kindness was trending and staying. The lesson for the world. A year after the hug, during a speech at the ESPYs, Coco mentioned Ella by name. That little girl reminded me that sometimes the smallest hands hold the biggest hope. The crowd stood in ovation. Sports journalists called it the hug that redefined victory. The circle completes. In the quiet of her hotel room one night, Coco placed Ella's glittering sign on her desk. She looked at the words, "You made me believe I could." She smiled softly and whispered to herself, "And you made me believe again, too." The lights outside faded. The noise of the world quieted. All that remained was a heartbeat of a shared dream. A 12-year-old girl and her hero, bound not by fame or fortune, but by faith and kindness. And somewhere, another little girl, watching the video for the first time, whispered, "Maybe I can too." Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share. Till next time.